are here now with the man responsible for unborn babies on Twitter. Yes, that's right, unborn babies on Twitter. Corey Menscher, the inventor of the Kickbee. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So the Kickbee, you came up with it. Tell us, what does it do? How does this thing work?
Well, it's a fetal movement monitor that a pregnant woman wears that detects when a baby kicks, and then it sends an update to Twitter.
And right from Twitter, that goes out to whoever has
Right.
subscribed to it.
Exactly, probably the father. And then what I intended for the father to do is also receive the tweet as a text message as well. So he's carrying his phone in his pocket and it vibrates and there's a kick.
So essentially, you've got a dad who might be at work or on a business trip or something like that.
Right.
He's sitting there. He gets a vibration, like a kick, kind of,
Right?
saying that, hey, your baby back in mom's belly just kicked.
The text message currently says, I just kicked mommy at 2:35 p.m.
And it happens instantly.
It happens
right away.
instantly, yeah. Well, it's up to Twitter, but it's usually within a few seconds.
Wow, amazing. So tell us just how this works. I mean, you came up with this. So what's the technology behind this?
It's actually pretty simple. There are a couple of vibration sensors that reach around to the belly, and then behind the mother, there's a microcontroller and a wireless transmitter. So when the baby kicks, it detects that kick, the movement on her belly, and it communicates with an application I wrote that then updates Twitter.
So you actually wrote the application. You said you came up with this.
Yeah.
How'd you do that? What was the inspiration behind this?
Well, my wife was pregnant. I was a graduate student at the Interactive Telecommunications program at NYU, and while she was pregnant, I was at school a lot. And she would call me during the day saying, oh, the baby's being very active, or I'd hear about it when I was home at night, and she'd tell me at the end of the day. And I realized that I had these tools available to me to detect those kicks and maybe receive text messages. I had just started Twittering, and it was pretty exciting. So Twitter makes it very simple for developers like me to use their service as a platform. They have something called an application programming interface, and it's very simple to use. So since I had done some development before, I just plugged in this API, and I was able to send a message every time the baby kicked.
Well, I want to ask you about that because there are a lot of people who, they've got wives, at home with babies that haven't been born yet, but they're not coming up with codes and devices and things like that. What was your background that allowed you to figure this out on your own?
Well, I've actually been a web developer for about 15 years, but at this program that I was attending, we like to call it a Hogwarts for hackers. We take technology and we push it in new and interesting ways. We try to humanize the technology.
Right.
And I realized that these tools that we have available to us, the microcontrollers, sensors that are easily found on the web, and of course, platforms like Twitter and programming languages like Java or web applications make it easy for us to use these tools to do something more interesting than just sitting in front of a computer and using your mouse and keyboard to interact with the digital technology available to us.
And so you came up with this right as Twitter was taking off. Obviously, it's everywhere today, and everybody's tweeting left and right.
It was big.
But why Twitter? Why'd you choose Twitter? Did you choose Twitter because you kind of saw that its popularity was growing?
Well, when I was originally thinking of the application, or the device itself, I was going to make two. I was going to have a belt for the mother and make a device for the father that would vibrate somehow. Either he'd wear it around his belly or around a wrist or something. And then I realized that everybody, or most fathers, carry around a networked vibrating device, a cell phone.
Already in their pocket.
Right. So I knew that Twitter had this API, and it was very simple to get text messages from it, and it's free. So I plugged into Twitter, and I used it to send a text message to me, to my cell phone, so that when I got a text message, it would vibrate in my pocket. And I would think, oh, is that the baby kicking? And sometimes it was.
So now, that seems like obviously this device has a lot of novelty use. It's fun for a husband to be getting these messages and things like that. But it would also probably come in handy for a lot of other people out there who might really have a need for it.
Right.
No?
Well, I think fathers or families who are separated by long distances, such as traveling for business or even deployed soldiers, it's a way for the parents to connect with one another. So the father can still be involved with the pregnancy, even though he can't reach out and touch the belly himself, because that's really the best way to connect with the mother.
And have you found that there are some concerns out there with mothers about, hey, I'm now going to be wearing this belt, this band around my waist, and it's going to be having some wireless exposure, some radio exposure?
Yes. But I've done some things to mitigate any exposure. I'm using very, very low power radio, something that's thousands of times less, or it's in the milliwatt range. of radio power compared to your cell phone, which is about a watt. So it's very weak, and it's also at the back of the mother. So the radio can't penetrate more than a couple millimeters into the skin. But I am looking into other ways of mitigating any kind of exposure or possibly using other wireless technologies.
And you came up with this essentially on your own at home. Have you talked to doctors out there and kind of gotten their input about it?
A couple. Our OB, I told him about it as I was developing, and he thought it was a great idea. I didn't get into the technology, but he thought it was very interesting.
And I was going to say, I guess the first person to ever wear this was your wife, so you clearly had a lot of confidence in the device.
Yeah. My son is the world's youngest Twitterer. It's pretty funny.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And so tell us about the status of this right now. What point are we at? Are people going to be able to get this device pretty soon?
I'm hoping. It's currently patent pending. I'm working on improving the electronics and learning about how to have things manufactured. So, it's on its way, but it's pretty new. This is just the second prototype.
Do we have a goal in mind, a time frame here?
I would say, within a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably at some point in 2010.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
Might make a good Christmas gift,
Yeah,
about
nice.
a year from
But
now.
people are having babies all the time, so there's really no rush to have it, for that holiday
Right,
season.
get the medical device down first. And secondly, if people are interested in learning more about this, obviously it's a fascinating thing, what can they do?
They can go to my website, kickbee.net. That's KICKBEE.net.
To learn out more.
Yeah.
Great, well, very interesting. And your baby now, how old?
He's 7 months.
And still kicking now outside the womb.
Yeah, he's big, and he's got big feet, so it worked out pretty well.
Very nice. Well, thanks for joining us. Corey Menscher, a pleasure.
All right, thank you.